G'day, John. So you're the first on the trot. This is going to be a bit of a frustrating stream because we are being inundated by bugs. Like, we only get a few days a year where this happens, but my goodness, it's completely and utterly yeah. I am not a person who attacks animals by default or anything like that. I let snakes go and all that sort of stuff. But these bugs, they are simply the most infuriating of bugs. They're just little hoppers and they fly around and they bite. For no real good reason, they just bite. They get into everything. Yeah, absolute pain in the backside. And I've spent most of the evening with all the lights off in the house, just waiting for them to, go to someone else's house. But they're hanging around a fair bit. It's hot, humid weather outside, so it's got them really excited. I think they're just looking for some flesh to chew on, and they're getting all randy and excited, and they just want to procreate. I can't even read the goddamn screen with these new glasses. Probably a good thing. G'day, Caradog. James. Let's see, James. Having issues with a 1990 touch bar. Be a great time for an ask. What's the issues you have with the touch bar? Touch bars are really annoying things, to say the least. There's many aspects to it because, there's the touch sensing part and then there's the actual display portion, and they are separate entities. And then sometimes it just nothing works and you have to just walk away from it. Anyway, so it's quite late at night. It's past 10:30. I've already done micro and I haven't had a chance to really do any of my work, which means, once again, slipping behind schedule as usual. Hey Mark, how's it going? And B-Dog, Tony. Anyway, so A1990, no power. Can't half tell if the SSD regulator there has been caught up in an unfortunate event or not. I'm hoping that on the underside of that we might be lucky and have a simple, so to speak, short circuit, but one that will still require us to probably replace that VREG just as a matter of safety. Hey Daniel Rock, hey Mr. Stamps. Water damage, took it out, showed a fuzzy screen, went to replace it, now nothing on the touch bar at all, no touch, no display. Yuck, 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 yuck. Actually, my favourite model, sarcastically, is the A2140 I think it is. That's the one with the 820 1700 board on it. James, is that a known working touch bar? And also, if it was just one that you bought, was it for the 13-inch or was it for the 15-inch? And was it for the right model? Touch bars are really fickle things. I basically refuse to do them replacements. I simply replace the entire deck. There's some mad people like Pedro who will try and do the touch bar replacements, but I'll walk away from it. It's not for me. Hey, boss. And full wave. Seems like we've got a pretty full dance card here. And Neo Fun Reaper. Yeah, and a bad touch bar will, of course, will create the delightful security update required. Can't boot until security update is done, and then when you try to do it, it says failure, cannot do this, and you're in this hell loop and you can't get out. Use 2 replacement top cases plus bought a brand new touch. Holy crap, okay, alright, now you're really getting into drama. Well, there should be, it's the the T219 section, I think it is. So you will have the high voltage MESA circuitry, which is for the touch, I believe. And then you'll have the actual display circuitry. What doesn't help is that don't even name it like touch bar or anything like that. They just call it this T219 or whatever it is. So it does make chasing down the circuitry a little annoying. But it seems like something's not quite right. It's interesting that you lost both though, because normally you can have, yeah, they are typically somewhat separate from each other. What have we got going on here? Bastian. Oh, someone's asking me something. I'm just going to answer this. It would be free for me to send it to you, full stop. No cost at all to you. Bit of a language barrier going on here. That's okay. Hey, Mr. Cosgrove. What am I working on? A1990. That doesn't work. Now, my guess is there's probably a dud cap right under here. I think we've got one. Yeah, we've got a dud cap. Now, in the early days, it was all fun and exciting when you got one of these because it was very easy to fix. But then as the days turned into weeks and months, what happened is that simple corrosion on many computers started to become a much deeper problem. It's kind of like when you get a little skin cancer and it's easy enough to get rid of, but if you leave it for too long, it becomes life-threatening. And that is the case with this particular fault. Okay, just getting most of the dust off, let the fume extractor suck it in. Yeah, it's definitely that. Now, hopefully our NANDs have not been damaged. That's the main thing. If we get a short on our NANDs, it's not going to be a fun day. Okay, we're going to see bugs landing on this. Yeah, we're going to see bugs. Okay, so that there is the PP bus input, and that there, this side, is the NAND output. So let's see what we're going to get. See what prizes we win today. High resistance line from the T2 to a connector. Not the T2. But it still doesn't make sense though, does it? Because it should, if it partially worked on the old one, then it could still work on the new. Okay, well that's a semi-good sign in part because it means maybe we haven't corroded, not corroded, carbonized all the way through, so that's good. And our NAND side is looking healthy at 522. Got a bit of damage there. That's the same rails, so we'll replace those two. So that's most likely our cause, but like I said, we do need to replace the VREG as well, just as precaution. What I have been receiving a few of, unfortunately, are situations where people have just removed that cap and there's been other issues elsewhere. And when they remove that cap, that's kind of like the crowbar that saves the data. They remove that cap, the power goes back into the VREG, the VREG's kind of messed up, and then the wrong kind of voltage goes through to the NAND and it's all dead. So that's the problem that we have to avoid. Which is why I now tell people, please don't just remove that cap and not do anything else. Check everything else. Preferably replace the VREG as a big precaution. Oh dear God, I really need to get my multimeter lead hook set up. And I need to turn my multimeter up. What do you call these things? Soldering iron. Need to turn my soldering iron on. Jason, I'm not 100% sure. I had to sort out some other urgent ones as well today. I did get yours all ready to go. That one from last night, that's ready to roll. And it's working, battery charges, touch bar works, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to have to hot air that off. I was trying to go at it easy. That's just a lie. You can't go easy on these things. So many annoying frickin' cables. Hey bro, Flofsky? If you have another board that's in better condition, then by all means, yeah. Although I guess it depends on your relationship with the customer. If it was a person I didn't know from a bar of soap, like just a general typical customer, I would say back up the data. I would, do the data backup, and then I would tell them to get to a new computer ASAP. Particularly if it's been drinking tea when it shouldn't, because more than likely that keyboard is going to be faulty, and then the trackpad's going to be faulty, and then the screen's going to be faulty. So if you put the money into replacing the logic board, even if it's out of your own pocket, it's probably going to come back, and they're going to run into other issues. Like I said, it's entirely subjective and up to the individual. But you know that, I don't need to tell you that. That's just me telling everyone else, there's bugs in my hair. Goddamn bugs in my hair. And I got knowingly scammed today on an iPhone job. The only reason why I didn't call it out is because it's a small town and I work from home, and I will just simply apply my revenge, as it were. It's not really revenge. I'll just simply amend my policies for that particular person and group, such that either they're going to have to pay a lot of money or they're not getting the service anymore. G'day there, a smeller. Sake. Oh, yuck. I mean, I don't mind sake, but yeah. The trouble with applying revenge is that you got to dig 2 graves, and I'm too lazy. I think I'll definitely get rid of that cap as well. It's not truly bad looking, but I just don't want to take the risk. Well, thank you very much, old man Greg. Was that a TMI situation there? Too much information? Oh, the truth reporter? Yeah, well, basically what happened is they brought a phone to me yesterday, and I replaced the screen on it, and as per dreaded typical, it came up and said it was unavailable because too many touches or whatever, either from the false touching of the broken screen or too many bad intentional inputs. So I said to the person, it's going to cost you this much, when they came and picked it up. And I said, but you're going to have to factory reset it and put in the Apple ID and all that. If you have any trouble with that, just let me know, and I'll be able to give you a hand at least with applying those, working out that stuff. So anyway, next day I get a message, and no, we can't unlock it, don't know what the password is and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, well, they said we bought it from eBay. I said, alright, well, just ask the person from eBay that to give you those details or unlock it on your behalf. And next day they say, no, we can't get a hold of the eBay seller. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And they said, we want a refund on the display. And I said, well, I can't give you a full refund on the display because it's already installed and I've done the labor. I'll give you a partial refund if you can bring it back and it's not in any way damaged, etc. So they did that. And then when I was pulling it apart, I realized, what the hell? I said, this screen and battery, the original one that I took out, the original screen that I replaced, it has my UV markings on it. And then I realised that the battery also has my UV markings on it, the one that's in there. So it wasn't an eBay phone, it was a phone that oh great, fantastic, someone's already butchered this. God damn it. So basically it was a local phone, and I don't even think it's been stolen. I think it's just a case of they couldn't remember it, they didn't want to go through the process, they just wanted a refund. And the second possible thing is based on, hey, is that a, oh no, it's a fairy wing in there. Based on whom I saw in the car when they came picked up, it's probably the person who chucked an absolute fit at me a few weeks ago because they thought that I was using dodgy screens and stuff like that, but they wouldn't actually bring it back to me so that I could verify that it was a bad screen and stuff like that. So yeah, it feels like a bad blood situation. Alright, so we're going to replace those caps. Hopefully we have some better luck here. Actually, I better replace the VREG too. I think what happened is that it's a someone else who wasn't aware of the fact that there was potentially this bad blood situation. They bought it to me, and then when they took it home, that the person there's like, oh no, you know, we don't use him anymore because of whatever, so take it back and get a refund. Anyway, annoying to say the least. Hey Graham, what happened to Carrot Dog? You bugger off. Something Halon's razor. What the hell's Halon's razor? I know Occam's razor. Not that I actually believe it's a real thing. I never am quite sure whether Occam's razor was spawned by the Jodie Foster movie, or whether it existed prior to the Jodie Foster movie. Carrot Dog's not here. Now, needless to say, if I was in a large city and people didn't know where I lived or whatever, more than likely I would have just told that customer, look, I'm sorry for your situation, but you know, we replaced that display and it worked fine. Our work is done. You know, it's not for us to take on the liability, so to speak, of your situation. So you know, we might be able to work out something, but you know, it's even considering that is a bit of a push. It's kind of like if you buy a car and you get new tyres put on it, but then you find that you can't get the car registered because it's got some mechanical fault, and you take the tyres back to the tyre store and say, look, you know, we want a refund because we can't get this car registered. It's like the tyre place will just tell you to go fuck yourself. More and more I try my best to try and eliminate situations where this sort of thing can occur. I think what bothers me is the fact that they told me it was an eBay purchase when clearly it was not. Now unfortunately, since the iPhone 6s, the serial numbers are not marked on the outside of the iPhones. So it's not been easy to be able to track serial numbers unless you already can get access to the phone. So as a consequence, I wasn't able to track who the original owner was or who had brought it into me in the past. So that's a bit annoying. Hey creature. Yeah, Graham, definitely. He's like, you want to try that with your doctor? Do you want to try that with the supermarket? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck to you. But yeah, you're right. We sort of seem to be the bottom end of the food chain when it comes to that, particularly as small business type situations. Hey there, Harold. How's it going? Yeah, in a small business situation, you kind of really get screwed over by customer whims. Yeah, there's a little bit of junk there. That's why we replace these. Let's see, I had a slow-speaking lawyer lady. Sounds like a very deliberate speaker. Probably a consequence of her choice of career. Gonna do some hot air wicking to get rid of the solder balls. Like if I didn't remove that chip and that junk stayed under there, it probably would have been fine for a while. But eventually there would have been a failure. And then I would have been on... Anyway, needless to say, I gave him a partial refund. And that's basically the end of that. But if they do come back around for another thing, I will probably be asking upfront for the serial number of the phone, like getting access to it, and a few more details than I normally would take for just a local job. Just to do a little bit more cover my own ass situation. I mean, I didn't actually lose any money on the job in the end, although I'll certainly not reuse that display for a customer. Doesn't matter if it's only been 20 minutes, it's just a policy I have. Once I install a device, I will not reuse it taken away. Let's see. Crap, what am I after? I'm after a TPS 62180. Right, got to get those. I mean, there's going to be situations where that's completely over the top paranoid, but there's also going to be plenty of situations where it saves my backside. 3U tools, yeah, but you got to be able to plug it in and all that sort of stuff and get their details, I think. Oh, Arnold G's a lawyer. Ah, now we're all going to be quiet around Arnold G. A lot of the problem is when it comes to dealing with customer support or dealing with jobs being dropped in and stuff, is you don't have the time that you need to get all the information from the customer and stuff like that. You know, most of the time... sorry, I just got to bring up the board here. Most of the time, you barely got 5 minutes. Customer comes on, drops their stuff off, scoots off, whatever, and you're in the middle of other stuff as well. You don't have the luxury of having more staff on hand to handle that sort of stuff. I mean, it'd be good if you did, but we don't all have that. And of course, yeah, that's one of the downsides of not being big enough and having sufficient staff. It's all about the trade-offs. Yeah, Creature, I do love it. The audio chip for the iPhones is particularly nice in that respect. Okay, we've got to turn the air down a little on this. 60 should do it. Oh, bloody bugs. Harold, did someone copy your design, did they? I'm going through a whole lot of software upheaval at the moment, just trying to make it a bit harder for people to copy Flexboard View illegally. Okay, something's not right there. It's pushing my luck. There's the flippin' nans there. I don't want to cook that. Just trying to get an idea of how it's resting. So I put a little bit of flux under there, and by the perimeter being pushed out around the side, you can sort of gauge whether it's okay or not. They copied the SPI monitor. No, that's annoying. Frickin' people, eh? What a bunch of bastards. Okay, I'm just going to put the grid on there. I really want to give this... I did not see that... I saw it move initially, but it didn't feel like it was the actual proper one. Creature's going to freak out here a bit. Hey, Michael Tritz. Take a creature. I get it the teeniest, tiniest tap. It's not like I'm blindsiding it with a sledgehammer or anything. Come on. I have a little bit of finesse. And the trouble is that the house is very large and these bugs are everywhere. Okay. There, something's cocked up. No, we still have a very hard ass short there. Oops. Actually, we shouldn't. That's the two... Oh god, if I cook the NAND... Yeah, something's gone wrong there. I think I know what I've done wrong. In fact, I know exactly what's wrong. This is upside down. I can guarantee you it's upside down. I did check the orientation, but the problem wasn't that I didn't check it. The problem is that I checked it incorrectly. Yeah, no short. Okay, NAN's fine. That's annoying. See, unfortunately on the board view, the two orientations are actually quite similar on first glance. So like initially you quickly look at that and you think, oh yeah, that's it, and yeah, you put your pin one down there, but that is not the corner. That is the underside view, whereas we have the CPU side view, which is this one over here. And as you can see, that is diametrically opposed, and also so is the orientation. Hey Patrick, good evening. Accuse. So yeah, that's why you double check your stuff before you do your stuff. else you end up making a stuff. I should say you're making a stuff up. I'll have to waste another TPS 62180 because, hey, they're just easy to get a hold of these days. No shortage whatsoever of them. Hey, g'day, Miles. Anyway, like I said, crisis averted at least. We found it before it was too late. Like I said, this is why we check these things. Particularly with critical chips like this one. I hate it when they... My wife just walked out behind the window. Well, fortunately, it wasn't that the schematic was wrong. It was that my interpretation of what I was looking at was wrong. Sorry, just trying to clean the tip of my tweezers here. There we go. Ian, there are markings. You probably can't see them there. I'll see if I can zoom in to give you an idea. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a dot there. So there is always, well, I shouldn't say always, but there is almost always a marking on chips. Yeah, Creature, it's not too far off the middle. Fortunately, it's under the text, so it's biased off. Yeah, they could have done a better job, I agree. But I suspect they did that because it means less time on the laser to... Because the closer you can get it in, around one group, the less transit time there is for the laser that's doing the job of cutting those, etching the top of the chip. Okay, it looks good. Oh yeah, of course that's going to be short because we're measuring across the inductor. Duh. Should be 600, yep, 700, so we're good. And PV bus is also good. In some ways it could be argued that I'm actually creating a... I really got to get the cable thing. I just yanked down half my stuff. It can be argued that by replacing that VREG, I am actually creating a higher risk situation for failure because of things like, did I put it upside down? Is it not aligned correctly? Is the new chip going to be faulty? So, I do bring about new risks. However, you weigh it up, really. And too many times I have found that these days, when there's a problem on that cap, there's frequently some sort of issue around with that VREG chip too. Mouser has the 62180s back in stock. Ah, thank you. Someone's going to be buying 100 of those tonight. Yeah. Very much in need, those chips. Apple has decided to use them for almost everything. Any sort of regulation work, let's use the TPS 62180. It's like, okay. So we've got slightly choked up fans here, ever so slightly. And we're going to violate my HEPA filter. I could get a shop vacuum cleaner for this, but I just have replaceable pre-filter on top of my HEPA filter, so it's not a problem. Queues, I haven't actually picked one yet. I probably won't for a little while. Kind of running a little short on the essential funds at the moment, and I know I've got a tax commitments and things like that. And hell, tomorrow I've probably got to go and spend a bit more money than I want to, just on getting various things for the cats and the house, and plus I've got to replace my Dremel. Yeah. So if I was going for the budget option, yeah, if I didn't care about anything, then yeah, I'll probably just get that $290 very basic the very basic one, and just make the upgrades to improve it as I get the opportunity. But I already am time starved enough that I probably don't want to take that route. Don't really need to connect anything else. Hey there, Jim Allen. Oh yeah, Artemis took off today. That was actually quite impressive to see. Nice to see they finally got it going. I guess they're being pedantic as hell. They're like, we don't want this one to stuff up. Can't blame them. I'd like to know what they're going to do when they run out of the RS-25s. Hello. Alright, let's see how we go. Yep, not a good start. Is that upside down, backwards? What's going on? Oh, that ain't right. Okay, that port is jacked up. Something's in it. How about now? What is going on? .4 volts? What the hell? Oh, right. You know, saying that my cables yanked everything down? Well, yeah. Pulled it clean from the wall. We're disconnected? We're disconnected. Okay. Oh, someone sent me a message earlier. I better get to that shortly. Okay, 5 volts. 20 volts, thank God for that. Hung there for a little bit. Apple logo, we're in business. Right, way to make me panic, jerks. Oh, Dudumrez doing his nightly stuff you, YouTube, contribution straight to PayPal, 14 Australian dollars. Thank you very much to Dumrez. I kind of wonder whether you're going to call in on all those investments at some point. Hey, Godfrey Allen. Harold, I probably wouldn't go with the TPS 62184 only because of the fact that I wouldn't like to risk. Yeah, maybe there's a subtle variation in them that Apple will blow up on. So yeah, TPS 62180 is what I'm going to have to go for. Okay, it looks like we're booted. Guest user is alive and well. Trackpad's going fine. Okay, shut that down. Find out what's going on over here. It feels like there's some junk in the port. Get out of here, bugs. Yeah, Jim, that's not good advice. First rule of MacBooks, do not clean the screen for the customer. Actually, that's not the first rule, but it's one of the rules of MacBooks. Do not clean the customer's screen. If you clean the customer's screen, they're going to see all manner of scratches that have been there for eons that they haven't seen, and they're going to blame you. Yeah, that's a crusty, nasty looking... Yeah, something got jammed in there. That one's okay. That one's not okay. Yeah, looks like lint from the bottom of someone's pocket. Yeah, the number is, I'm definitely going to be sending you one. I'm not sending you this one though, this one's mine. Are you right for it to be the 16x2 setup? The other thing is I haven't finished the firmware, so at the moment it only shows the top two rows. I am thinking... Wow, have I already defected? I must have hit it or something. Anyway, I'm thinking of just putting like maximum values of over the last 10 seconds or something down the bottom there. I'm not sure yet. Hey Keith McDermott. What's an A14? Client came to me today, really insisted to fix their Mac. Said no, I do not want to. They really push it. Oh, A1425. Yep, that's a no thanks. No thanks. Wave them out the door. That and 1534s. It's like, hi, how are you? Oh, you have a lovely 1534 there. Yeah, goodbye. Like I say, you do like to help customers, and believe me, turning them away is the best way to help them for those two machines. I'm a little disappointed that no one really ended up answering for the tragedy that was the A1534. I mean, it was just so wrong in so many different ways. Miles. I think Miles is trolling me. Yeah, the Dumrez, I've found that as well. Graham also found that. I don't know what it is. Apparently YouTube is aware of it. Well, I can barely get that out. Okay, it looks like that defect for the USB-C port is actually in the physical chassis itself. I don't know why, but I just got the urge to say emotional damage. Oh, here it comes. Pulling it out like Dr. Pimple Popper. Looks like the only change is V and max up from 15 volts to 17. Okay, alright. Well, Harold, what I might do is I'll get a couple of both, or certainly I'll get a lot of the first one, and then I will test it out on a machine that I can afford to blow up like that. Okay, that's much better now. Yep. So thankfully the contacts were not damaged on that. It was simply physical obstruction. Oh, what have you done? You mixed them up. Right, the threads are different. Not much, but that thread doesn't work. That thread doesn't work. Ah, see the difference now. By the way, I do apologise for the glossy front. Now, normally I know with lighting you're supposed to have certain things positioned in certain places, but unfortunately, if I want the bench to be lit according to how I want, then my forehead kind of gets caught in the glare. I probably can mitigate it by having a light bar or something in front of me, just so that the camera then sort of, or maybe some more light in the back, maybe some more light behind me, so the camera sort of goes, oh, you know, it's a fairly bright background, so let's turn things down a bit. I could also just try growing more hair, not being such a male pattern baldness, I guess. So much junk. Okay. Alright, that I'm going to decide whether I'm actually going to put that in ultrasonic clean or not. I'm somewhat disinclined to ultrasonic clean these particular boards. I do want to look at getting a ultrasonic toothbrush for these situations. Now, of course, you do still need to get the flux from underneath that TPS chip. So you need to heat up the board, say like to 100, something like that, and flush it out. So yeah, I want to try an ultrasonic toothbrush, something like that. Baby powder, baby. Yeah, foundation. I'd sooner wear foundation. Wear a beanie. That's I suppose another idea. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I was thinking I could wear a baseball cap. I thought finally a reason to wear a baseball cap. Okay, what is this? 1534. And that pretty much seals the deal for tonight because it is getting late. And if I'm planning on what I'm planning tomorrow, I need to get up early. The weather here has turned incredibly nasty the last couple of days. It's getting very hot. Okay, I marked the boards with the job number on the underside. It's surprising how frequent that has saved me here and there. We don't use a jet streamer and just use demineralized water in it. I haven't tried. I mean, try different sorts of things. Baseball cap with LED light on the peak. Could try that. A sombrero. I like Joho's idea. I like the sombrero idea. But yeah, the weather has gone from being tolerable during the day to intolerable. By about 9:30 in the morning, you just don't want to be outside. It's 35 plus, and then by midday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's hitting close to 40, and we're not even officially in summer yet. So, bleh. Graham need to put a video out now. Graham needs to do a live repair right now, I think. Green screen behind you. Imagine the possibilities. It's true. It's a good idea, but the trouble is, I just probably don't have the room in this workshop for it. Okay, Mark, you take care. Well, we're done anyway, so you're not going to miss out on anything. Okay, I'm out of here. You'll take care, and I'll maybe see you tomorrow with some new news about what I got up to. Maybe I'll have my new Dremel, who knows. But good to see that this machine is fixed. The person at the very least will be able to get the data off. hopefully they'll be able to continue to use it for a while. I will, after I've washed that corner, I will protect it either with RTV or something like that, just to keep the corrosion from developing again. So, you all take care. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Catch you later.